Here's my audience. Today I'll be talking about abstinence. Do you think the majority of people wait until after they're married to have sex? Well, if you said no, you'd be correct. A lot of people have sex, and a lot of those people have children too. Someday, those children will grow up and repeat the cycle. They shouldn't suffer without help, especially when they don't have to. And that's why a comprehensive sex education is so important. As a kid, I was taught abstinence at home, and I've learned a lot about the things we need to change to ensure that the next generation has a better understanding of sex. There are over 8 billion people in the world, and many of those people have been harmed by a lack of sex education. Spreading awareness and teaching effective sex education can impact the well-being of everyone. I'm sure most, if not all of you, have had the abstinence talk either at home or at school. Can you think of any reasons as to why that wasn't effective? Well, I've got a few. Abstinence-only teachings teach youth and children to avoid sexual activity until marriage. The Guttmacher Institute's article, Federally Funded Abstinence-Only Programs, Harmful and Ineffective, are required to provide medically accurate information. However, they limit the details. When discussing contraceptives, the Title V SRAE program doesn't allow their instructors to demonstrate how to use them. As explained by Patrick Malone and Monica Rodriguez in the ABA's article, Comprehensive Sex Education versus Abstinence-Only Until Marriage Programs, a study by Douglas Kirby, abstinence-only programs don't fulfill their goal to decrease or prevent sexual activity. Instead, it was the comprehensive sex education programs that showed positive results in the 3 important effects of delaying the initiation of sexual intercourse by reducing the number of sexual partners and increase use of condoms and contraceptives. Since these principles show how the government enforces purity, we can see why a good sex education is so important. The Guttmacher Institute states that the majority of teens have had sex by the time they graduate high school. Studies show that not only those that pledge to abstain and those that don't have the same rates of premarital sex, abstinence-only programs actually result in a higher rate of teen pregnancy. According to the ACLU, what the research shows, government-funded abstinence-only programs don't make the grade. Teens that are instructed to avoid sexual activity are less willing to use condoms and seek testing for STDs. In more ways than one, we can see how censoring sex education does more harm than good. Abstinence-only programs isolate vulnerable people. In an article by the NPR, Abstinence-only education is ineffective and unethical, report argues. Sarah McCammon references a report about the content in abstinence-only programs. The language they use reinforces the gender stereotypes of female passivity and male aggressiveness, which are often used to excuse domestic violence. Children and teenagers that are instructed by abstinence-only programs are in danger. The Guttmacher Institute states that those that are abused often don't get the help they need. Abstinence-only doctrine ignores the 1 in 9 girls and 1 in 53 boys that experience sexual abuse or assault by an adult. Abstinence-based education swears to protect the youth while leading them through a trail of unnecessary hardship and contributing to the dangerous societal mindset of purity culture, which functions to foster a toxic relationship with sex and increase the likelihood of abuse. A comprehensive sex education will give the youth the tools they need to protect themselves from abuse, navigate sexual health issues, and build a healthy psychological relationship with sex. To quote Erin Marin in her book, An Unimaginable Act, "If someone would have talked to me in school about safe touch and unsafe touch, I believe I would have spoken up as a child and not been victimized over and over again, for years. But that day never came, which is why my mission now is to protect children from the childhood I could not be protected from. We, as adults, have a duty to speak up when we see a child being manipulated by another adult. We can make an impact by supporting our local comprehensive groups and signing petitions to end the suppression of sex education. We can pick up the slack by teaching our children and teenagers at home so they can make informed choices before it's too late.